So the story about Portland, if you didn't know, Portland is a very woke town. It's a very progressive city. Just ask Antifa that lives there. But if you want to know, if you want to know what happened, there was a lot of people applying for the job. Jason Kidd wasn't one of them. But Damian Lillard advocated for 2 people to take the job. He advocated publicly. We all saw it on Twitter of him wanting Jason Kidd to have the job. I didn't see anything about Chauncey Billups. Damian Lillard saying, I want Chauncey to have the job. There was no public affirmation for that, right? But I will say that when it comes to it, you would think that the star player would have a say in the franchise's role for who would get to be the position of head coach, especially if he's leaving, right? So there's this tweet that went out. Somebody tweeted at Dame, or like somebody tweeted with Dame's name, and they said, "This is on Dame," referring to Chauncey Billups getting hired as the Portland Trail Blazers head coach, and also sexual allegations from 1997 resurfacing with Chauncey attached to the name, right? So this is on Dame's, in my opinion. They were always going to hire exactly who he wanted, and he wanted Billups or Kidd. They put out names like Becky Hammon and Mike Tony, too cool, blah, blah, blah. Goes on. Dame actually retweets this with the quote and goes, "Really? I was just asked what coaches I like the names of, and I heard and I named them. Sorry I wasn't aware of their history. I didn't read the news when I was 7 or 8 years old. I don't support those things, but if this is the route that you all want to come at me, say less."
That's kind of hilarious, by the way.
Right. So they're blaming. And then, hold on. Sorry. There's another tweet real quick. So the guy then decided to follow up the comment. "Dame, I'm a huge fan of your game. If you weren't aware about Billups' race case, then that was when the news first broke weeks ago. By the way, this has happened since 1997. So it wasn't just weeks ago. This has happened for years on end. This guy was a Finals MVP. He's an NBA champion. He also got a job offer to be the Cleveland Cavaliers general manager. He also was the assistant coach to the Los Angeles Clippers. So this is something that if you want to bring up the news, then how about you would have brought it years ago? Instead, they want to say news first broke out weeks ago. That's fair. I just can't believe that you weren't aware before this decision was made." Dame then retweeted him and said, "I said what I said, family."
and that was it. That was his quote or his response.
Yeah. Hours later.
See, here's my thing. Like, I don't like. It's one of those things where I just don't take people seriously, especially if they're on the internet. Like, they could reply to Dame, they could say all this stuff all they want. For example, Mike Tyson, we all know, had the rape case, but everyone loved The Hangover and The Hangover 2. And that didn't bother anybody. So it the people want to pick and choose what they want to like and what they don't want to like. So I can't take anybody that goes after those players like that seriously. That's just my 2 cents, though.
Mike Tyson, thank you for bringing that up, because that was the first person that I thought of. He served 6 years in jail, right? That was something that was handled in court. Now all of a sudden he gets to fight celebrity matches, and everyone forgets, right? The guy gets his own cartoon
supposedly he was framed for that.
And I'm not saying, by the way, that I love Mike Tyson, but at the same time, it's just like I believe that after a while we should be able to forgive a person for something that happened in the past, as long as they served a punishment at some point. If they served a punishment, then that's okay, right? Gonna play devil's advocate here.
May I play devil's advocate for a moment?
Ding, 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 ding.
Get in there. Go!
This is a Lakers show, after all, right? And we will be expecting another statue to go up outside the Staples Center. So playing devil's advocate here, if you are a Laker fan and you also are a self-proclaimed Kobe fan, but you want to throw Chauncey Billups' name in the mud, go look at yourself in the mirror. That's all I'm saying, is that's kind of the thing that's happening right here, is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy at its finest. How can you still be a fan of Kobe but then also want to drag Chauncey Billups' name in the mud? That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Once again, people want to pick and choose what they want and what they want to either attack, what they want to bring up, and it's just to their own personal benefit, whatever it may be. Maybe their own insecurity, and it just makes them feel better. But bringing up the past, especially someone's past, it's just so irrelevant unless it's still like they're still doing those bad habits and they haven't changed and they haven't justice hasn't prevailed because of it.
Multiple allegations, like Deshaun Watson, or maybe like Joe Biden, maybe like Donald Trump, multiple allegations. Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby,
Suge Knight,
multiple
Zac
allegations. Don't you?
Got Mike. That's all that mattered to me. Back to you.
I am putting in my resignation from CRS.
I'm just gonna put that clip up. I want to repost that.
But you get what we're saying here is like you still decide to selectively choose who you support. Like November's election had multiple sexual allegations for the main two candidates, but hey, Chauncey Billups is the head coach for Portland. Boo. Okay.
Yeah, and Kamala Harris is an angel.
I'm not going that far. That's too political for me. That's political for my taste.
Well, I'm of color, so I could say that.
You go on. I know she hasn't visited your family at the border, so you can go on and say that. But why don't we go on to the next clip or the next cut? Sometimes it's not the people who change, it's the mask that falls off. That quote was tweeted out by Dame on June 26, 5:32. And then go ahead and show the Chris Haynes tweet if you can, please. Chris Haynes pinned this tweet up because it's getting a lot of attention. The backlash from the Portland Trail Blazers coaching search and his concerns over whether a championship contender can be built have become major factors that could force Damian Lillard to request a trade out.
So he's going to the Lakers.
Wow. Apparently, Bet Online is getting all over this, and there's odds. So why don't we take a look at the odds real quick?
Oh.
The New York Knicks is the number one team, then followed up by the Philadelphia 76ers, then the Miami Heat. The Los Angeles Lakers come in fourth, and unfortunately, the two dreaded rivals, the Clippers and the Celtics, are shortly behind.
No. We don't want that. We don't need that here.
No.
Don't speak that evil around here, Ricky Bobby.
And here's the thing. Okay, I hate to admit it. If it comes to trade pieces, the Lakers are kind of like, I don't know, shorthanded compared to some of those teams on the list.
I mean, come on, Kuzma and KCP, straight up. I mean, who says no to that? I mean, the Blazers, but yeah, of course.